Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Career Connection Chats. As always, I'm your host, Seth Lawrence, Delaware Military Academy, class of 2022, and man of Morehouse, class of 2026. Welcome to Season 4, Legal Careers. Welcome to Season 4, Episode 1. With us today is Julianne Murray, who is running for the office of Attorney General for the state of Delaware. Murray is also a career attorney within the Delaware bar. But why have me tell you about her when she can tell you about herself and some of the things that she wants to advocate for if she obtains the office of Attorney General position, as well as what she calls a Murray Monday Minute, where she goes over what the office of Attorney General is all about, educating her constituents about the role in which they are voting for.
Hey, it's Julianne Murray here for our Murray Monday Minute. It's official, we are filed for the Office of the Attorney General. 217 days until you have an Attorney General that's going to make public safety a priority. 217 days until you're going to have an Attorney General that's going to prosecute. And 217 days until you're going to have an Attorney General that is actually the people's lawyer. We are looking for team members. We want to grow this campaign. We are going to take this state by storm. For those that don't know it, I have said I am fearless about this election because I have to be. Fearless out. We're going to spend the next 2 to 3 weeks talking about the structure of the Office of the Attorney General. A lot of people don't realize that the Office of the Attorney General actually performs 3 functions. There's the top cop, which is the lead prosecutor for the state, but there's also the Solicitor's Office, which is the civil division, which handles representing state agencies. And there is also what I'm going to call the citizens lawyer section, which is other divisions. So there's actually 5 divisions within the Office of the Attorney General. The criminal division, which we've talked somewhat about and we'll obviously talk more about going forward. There's the civil division. There's the family division, the fraud and consumer protection division, and the newest one that came around in 2020 is the civil rights and public trust division. That's the structure. No one's getting quizzed on it. I wanted you to have an idea. So in the next couple of weeks, we'll be talking about what actually each division does. There's no way I could get it in the minute. So this is what's called a teaser. Tune in next week. Told you I was going to be fearless about this election. Fearless out.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Season 4, Episode 1. With me today is Julianne Murray, candidate for Attorney General, also an attorney, career attorney. Ma'am, how are you?
I am well.
All right, allow me to get out your way. This is your show. So
these are the questions.
Let's start off with the first question. Can you explain who you are and how you got to where you're at now?
Okay. To begin with, I am not a career attorney. So I actually didn't go to law school till I was 38. I am 52, married, and a dog mom. No children, just dogs, but they are my kids. But at the age of 38, I had been in the legal field as a paralegal and then as an administrator. At 38, my husband said, why didn't you ever become a lawyer? You like to argue. Apparently I did. And so I went to law school at 38, graduated when I was 41, passed the bar, first time, big deal, in Delaware, and actually opened my own firm. And in 2012, it was Murray Law, LLC. Had no clients, just decided I was going to do this. Went on local radio here in Sussex County, built a book of business doing estate planning, real estate settlements, and some constitutional cases. Took a sheriff's case for the arrest authority, which was a really hot issue back in the 2012-2013 timeframe, and kind of made a name for myself that way. Took another hot constitutional case in 2014 having to do with election integrity in the Kent County Recorder of Deeds election. Did criminal law from 2015 to 2020, and then in 2020, I told you this was going to be a long. They won't all be this long, but if you're asking how I got here, in 2020 during the state of emergency for COVID, I sued Governor Carney over his short-term rental ban because Sussex County was decimated. Everybody was going into Maryland. Within 2 weeks of when I filed that, he dropped the short-term rental ban, and I was encouraged to run for governor. And as a first-time candidate, I ran for governor in 2020, got the endorsement of the Republican Party, won a 6-way primary in September, and went on to get more votes than anybody in the history of Delaware as a Republican governor, Republican candidate. And for governor, and better than 190 some thousand. And I've kind of stayed active since then, and decided that I was going to throw my hat in the ring for Attorney General, which puts us where we are right now.
That's awesome. You're self-made. That's awesome.
I am.
Amazing.
Yeah. And one thing I didn't mention, so my firm grew through the years. I added a partner, Ron Phillips, in 2015, and another partner, Tom Gay, in 2017. So we are Murray, Phillips, and Gay, and have an office here in Georgetown and one in Milford.
Amazing. That's awesome.
There you go. Yep.
Now, what characteristics makes a good person in this career field?
I think you have to be a people person. There are lots of lawyers out there that are not people. And, and I think that in certain types of lawyers, that's okay. I mean, I think if you're a contract lawyer and what you like to do is read, and, that works. There's a role for that. But for me, I think that being an everyday person, our tagline here is real lawyers for real people. And we all have our thing. I like dogs, Ron likes to surf, Tom likes to fish, Chelsea likes to golf. So I think that you have to be a people person and really care about the outcome. I think it makes you a better lawyer.
Well, absolutely. You're definitely a lawyer that's a people person, especially because you're the person that you want to represent. So yeah, it's definitely important. Now, what are your favorite things to do in this career?
I actually became a lawyer because I wanted to help people and put people at ease. And I did this in the estate planning context. I do it. People want to have their stuff right. I did it in the criminal context too. I was doing criminal defense, and people were freaking out about where their life was going and what was going to happen. And one of the things that I could calm people down and put them at ease. So yeah, that's one of my favorite things.
Awesome. Now I have to ask, what were some of your least favorite things to do in the career?
Well, okay. On the estate planning side of it, I have signed a will with somebody who died within 5 hours of when I signed the will. Yes, they had capacity. I knew how to do that. But, when you're dealing with the family and, so you get kind of a mixed thing where they're so grateful that you got there and that you're going through this stuff with them. But you can feel that the grief is just palpable, and you can feel that they're losing their loved ones. So, having to manage that emotion. And I would say that one of the least favorite things in general is having to detach yourself sometimes in order to be able to manage the emotions. That was true for me. It's true for me in the estate planning, but that was also true when I was doing criminal defense. You had to, my client needed me level-headed and calm, so getting emotional and having to detach yourself, you almost have to do that. And I don't like that. I'm much more of a fiery person who likes the engagement. And so having to have that professional detachment is hard.
Absolutely. Yeah, I could imagine.
Yeah.
Now, what are some of the day-to-day routines for someone in the attorney field and someone for Attorney General?
It's not for the faint of heart. So my life right now, I am working part-time and campaigning full-time. So I have backed off my clients to just a couple of days a week. So right now it's Tuesdays and Thursdays. Sometimes we add them in if I need one, but I'm seeing clients all day on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And then the rest of the week I'm doing campaign-related stuff. In my specific firm, I'm the managing partner. So I am still in charge of the books and records and the operation of the firm. I got a great crew. Everybody's doing what they're supposed to be doing. But, the time management piece, the most valuable thing that I have is time. And it's the most precious resource. So the day-to-day routine, there's a whole lot of juggling that goes on. And as much as I'm trying to keep things campaign, these days and work these days, it doesn't work that way. Today's a work day, but here I am doing something else. So it's, you have to be flexible and, take a deep breath. I think one of the things that, I'm going to sound old when I say this at my age, is to learn, take that breath, count 5, 10, whatever it is. The whole world is not going to fall apart. And sometimes that, you get the moment of clarity that you need.
Yeah. That's such yeah. Now, in your opinion, what is the most accurate legal TV show or movie?
You know, it's funny because I'm going to really date I don't watch a lot of TV. Okay, so in terms of most entertaining was Boston Legal, but it was the most outrageous. I mean, it was just, every episode I was like, that would never happen, and in a real courtroom. Actually, My Cousin Vinny was probably pretty accurate from a movie standpoint. They show it to you in law school to kind of give you an example of it. And my recollection is back Law and Order was actually pretty accurate from what I understand. You only got half cop and half lawyer stuff, but from what I remember, it was pretty accurate. But I wasn't a lawyer at the time, so I could be wrong. I mean, I have a different perspective on things than I did when these shows were on.
A lot of people said my cousin's Vinny. That's everything.
Well, they showed it to us in law school, and I was like, "You're kidding me, right?" But I will tell you, and so one of the things about being a lawyer, litigators are different than than other lawyers. What you would call trial lawyers are different. And then within trial lawyers, you have civil litigators, and then you have criminal trial lawyers, and another huge subset. And so in My Cousin Vinny, because it's a criminal case and because I've done criminal defense, it's like, okay, yeah, that's actually pretty accurate. Pretty good.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I have to watch the movie. I haven't seen it. I have to watch it.
Oh, you absolutely have to watch it.
Now, who is this program's all about mentoring and connecting people with potential mentors and kind of connecting people with things they want to do with people who've already done them.
Okay.
Now, who is your mentor and what was one of the best lessons they taught you?
It's interesting and I'm going to answer it in two different ways. I had to really think on this, and I think that actually I had a college professor, so we're going back 30 years. But all I remember is her first name was Christine, but she was Professor something, but I knew her first name was Christine. And she was really instrumental in getting me to, I'm going to use the words, own who I am. Yeah, don't apologize for being outgoing and outspoken. Be true to who you are, and that crosses a lot of different career fields for sure. But when I think back to kind of who I've turned into as an adult, the choices that I've made and what I've done, I have always maintained that central kind of tenet that I'm going to be who I am, and you're either going to like it or you're not going to like it. And believe me, there are some that do, and some that find me way too outgoing or too abrupt, all of those things. But I find by and large, most people actually like that. Where you stand with me. And, and I'm not a judgmental person. I just, I want to bring out the best in everybody. In terms of, I did not have a mentor as a lawyer, which is what gave me pause. I literally woke up one day and said, okay, well, my husband pushed me into it. It's time for me to go to law school. I did not have a particular person who charted my path. I actually carved my own by opening my own firm from the beginning. Not suggesting that that's a good idea, by the way. That's a tough path. But I had done the back office part of it. So for me, I felt like I could do it, but, I survived, but it's rough. And so now for me, I actually enjoy mentoring. I have an associate in my office. I said the name Chelsea earlier, who is an associate, early 30s, and I'm absolutely mentoring her. And, I really believe in that. Pay it forward, but I want to make sure that she feels supported, but is growing too. Mentoring is not doing it for somebody. It's giving them the tools and being that cushion and that guide if you need it. And so I did not have a lot in the legal field, so I make sure that I am for anybody who wants it.
Yeah, that's amazing. And then something stood out to me when you said something about being true to yourself. I know at Morehouse, one of their themes is unapologetic excellence, where being true to yourself means excellent in an unapologetic way, where you're just standing out, being who you are, and letting people either be okay with it or not okay with it, but you're not apologizing for who you are. So it kind of stood out to me, and I was like, oh, I know that theme. I heard that theme many, many times.
Yeah, I saw a speaker, I was at a conference a couple weeks ago that was talking about that American exceptionalism, and that it's okay to excel at things. And, and I think that unfortunately there's a whole lot out there right now, people want to just kind of make everybody the same. I think it's okay, to excel.
Absolutely. Now, you're running for Attorney General. So what is your biggest plan or project right now for the state of Delaware?
From the Attorney General standpoint.
Yes.
Okay. A couple of things. I mean, one of the things that we're dealing with right now is there is absolutely a rise in crime in Delaware. And, so from my perspective, this race, and I've been very, very careful and clear to say, this isn't about political party. This is not Democrat, it's not Republican, it's not unaffiliated. This should be an apolitical position. Your job is to enforce the law. Okay. And I think that the office has been politicized. So for me, my biggest goal is to depoliticize it and be very neutral. If you break the law, you're going to get prosecuted. And I think that, right now there is, there's just the numbers of dismissed cases are staggering. I mean, I have told people as it relates to this election, I have no personal beef with our current Attorney General. It's professional. And when you, in any job that you do, whether you're self-employed or whether you are, employed by somebody else, you get a performance evaluation. If you're self-employed, it's your clients. If you are working somewhere, you get a performance evaluation. She's the incumbent. So we are allowed to evaluate her performance. And when you're looking at numbers of weapons crimes and you're looking at the total number for like 2019, 2020, 2021 of actual charges, how many are dismissed, and 80 to 85% are being dismissed, that's, and crime's on the rise, that's a fail as far as I'm concerned. And so I would say my biggest project is to depoliticize this, get people to realize it doesn't matter what your political party is. Everybody has a vested interest in safer streets and reducing crime. So get out of the political field and instead focus on who's going to do that and who's going to make your day-to-day life better. And, so that's a tall order, get people to believe that, but also then to deliver on it, enforce the law and prosecute.
Absolutely. Now, I always pay attention to all the things on your social media and always like to keep updated. Where's Julianne? Where's she doing? What's she doing? Okay. And the one thing that I've always admired is, because I've never seen it before in anyone running for office, is something you call a Murray Monday Minute. And I've never seen someone run for office take time to actually explain what the office is to people who are like, I don't know what Attorney General is. I don't know what their job is, what they do. Mm-hmm. And you take time to explain it and you inform your voters. And I don't see that often. So could you explain a little bit to the viewers exactly where you got that idea from?
Sure. Well, and part of it is, so for those that don't know, every single Monday, we put these out. We put them out in an evening time frame when people are actually looking at it. And it really came about within my team. We were talking the number of votes that I got in the governor race. A lot of people got to know me, but a lot of people didn't. And we wanted people to get a sense of who I am. I am a natural teacher. When I started my law firm back in 2020, and I told you I went on the radio, how I did that was every day I did a 1-minute call in. It was between 1 and 2 minutes, and I would pick a topic for the week, whether it was real estate settlements or how to do a will or something like that. And I would teach for a minute or two. And so it was something that was very natural for me. And I thought that if I'm doing something every Monday, I mean, people are going to see, sometimes, they just get a different sense of me. You get it every single Monday, you're getting a visit, and, and that I could use it lots of different ways. I could use it to get people to get a sense of who I am, because it bleeds through. On Memorial Day, I didn't do a legal topic. I did Memorial Day, and telling everybody you better stop and you better pay homage to the people who have given us the very freedom that you're complaining about. Mm-hmm. I think that it's, it was, so I'm the director in that, but I can also use it, like you said, to educate. So I can pick a topic. I can talk about the office. I can talk about what my position is on something. And it's been interesting. It has grown in popularity, and I'm going to continue to do it up till the election. So there's a whole lot more Mondays coming.
Absolutely. Yeah. Another question about Delaware is very busy with Delaware has Delaware Air Force Base and tons of VFWs, American Legions, and a lot of different veteran organizations in Delaware. We just had Joshua Maddox, Office of Veteran Services Executive Director, on here, and so I want to ask, what are your plans to safeguard veteran and military family welfare in the state of Delaware?
To the degree that I can, and in a state office. So for me personally, huge issue. As lawyers, we do pro bono work, which means for free. And my pro bono work from the time I opened my firm was veterans. So I actually am accredited through the VA, and did stuff through Widener's Law Clinic, and then did stuff with the local posts here. And then in my call-ins, my Wednesday was always a veteran topic where I was talking about a veteran charity, a veteran organization, and so personally for me, this is something that really hits home, and it disgusts me when we have homeless veterans. If they want to be homeless, that's something different, a totally different issue. But so for me, to the degree that there is not a department within the AG's office that is specific to veteran affairs. Doesn't mean there can't be. There's a new division now that's only been here for a couple of years. So, I'd be interested. You said I'll watch your interview with Josh to see kind of what the Veterans Affairs do. But I mean, it's a priority for me. I think that just like we have an uptick in the severity of a crime for an elderly person, I think that there needs to be consideration if someone has been a veteran. Now, I will tell you that does exist here in Sussex County, and I know in Kent County there is something called Veterans Court, where it's a diversion program where, and I did this when in criminal defense, I represented somebody who I found out had been a veteran and ended up going back through Veterans Court because it's a way to keep it off their record. I mean, it's a way to, if you get everything, do everything that you're supposed to do to not have something on your record. So even as a prosecutor, I would want to hold pure to that. And if there is a diversion or some way that we can work with a veteran, if they end up on the criminal side of things, that that we're taking all of that into consideration.
Yeah, I think it's very important to keep our veterans happy, healthy, and out of the legal trouble. Sometimes it's hard for people coming back from overseas and transitioning back into civilian life. So I think it's important for our elected officials to defend them and keep them upbeat and ready to go with life and stuff.
Well, and I don't think people have any sense of, and I don't. I've not been deployed overseas. I've talked to a bunch of veterans, but I think that, more often than not, if a veteran ends up committing a crime, there's an underlying reason for why it happened. And so one of the kind of advantages that I see in running to be the chief, the top law enforcement officer in the state, having done criminal defense, is that I see what gets people there sometimes. Okay, so I don't paint everybody the same and go, oh well, if you committed the crime, you're a bad person. No, I think if you cannot lose the individual in the broad strokes. And so I think that with the veterans, the ones that I have encountered, it's absolutely a symptom of what happened to them while they were serving that's being manifested some other way.
Absolutely. I know we appreciate all the support you do for veterans. I met you at the Memorial Day parade, and that was a fantastic time to see you supporting veterans and our fallen heroes in arms, especially in Delaware. And now, is there anything you would like to say to our viewers or those looking for a career in law or politics?
Absolutely. Don't call me a politician. Okay. So in terms of, a career field in the law, it's never too late. Yeah, I can tell you again, and I was one of the older ones in my class, but I know of people in their 50s that go to law school. So if it's, don't feel like if you've gone down one path that you cannot, shift gears and become an attorney. Yeah. If you're going to do that, though, I suggest to people going into it with an open mind. And what I mean by that is when I was in law school, I said the one thing I am never going to do is criminal defense. And then I ended up doing criminal defense. And I chose to do that. I did it because it's a constitutional area of the law that I was very passionate about. So I think that you can, if you are flexible and understand that you kind of like the idea of being a lawyer, if you go into it with an open mind, you can do that, and you can become a lawyer. In terms of politics, I am so atypical in that, who wakes up and runs for governor? Yeah, I do, and get more votes than anybody in the history of Delaware. But I made the pitch. I went all over the state, and for me, what was key was I was true to me. I am not perfect. I jerk when I talk. I have my hands. My hair's not perfect. I don't say the perfect thing every time, but I'm real. And I think that right now, politically, real resonates with voters. And so I would, if someone were thinking about doing that, I would encourage them to be true to who they are, and to give people a sense of what they're made of. Don't say what you think people want to hear. Be brave. Say what you really feel about something, and that translates. People like you and trust you if you are sincere about how you feel about something, even if they disagree with you. They can still, people can disagree, but I think that you can garner support from people even if they don't agree with you, just because you were true to whatever it is. So don't try to play both sides, I guess is what I would say.
Absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Julianne Murray, candidate for Attorney General and attorney. Thanks for being on the show. Next up we have Rear Admiral Jennifer Kuchar, Commander of Naval Service Training Command, next week. Stay tuned for that. Thanks so much for
and I want to say thanks, and I don't know whether you put it across the bottom, but Murray for Delaware is the website and social media. So if people want to figure out what's going on, that's where you're going to find it.
Absolutely.
All right.
Again, thanks for watching Career Connection Chats. I hope you learned something great. I hope you learned something you want to teach other people. And if you want to be on our show, please email us at careerconnectionchats@gmail.com. And if you want to ask our guest speaker your own questions, please email at the email posted below. To see more, please visit our YouTube channel and share what you've learned.